Hi there, welcome to Artist Insights. This is the very first episode. I'm Hitch.
And I'm Elisha.
And we're going to talk about art from different perspectives. I'm a photographer. I work in traditional film and in digital.
And I'm a mixed media artist. And I do whatever I want.
She really does too. Not just in art either.
Pretty much. Yeah.
We have a little bouquet of flowers because today is Alicia's birthday.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, you want to tell folks about you, how you got started, where you come from?
Sure. I am originally from West Virginia, but I moved to Ohio when I was a really little kid. And I always wanted to be either a musician or a visual artist. And that's pretty much what I've always done my entire life. And I'm very lucky to have that experience.
Tell us about your life as a musician.
Okay, well, my dad was a musician and he played just about any kind of musical instrument. And so I got a taste for music extremely young. And I sang at my first wedding when I was about 7. I interrupted the professional musicians and I said, "Excuse me, guys, it's my turn." And I belted out a cappella a song in front of hundreds of people. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. Bye.
So you have always just done whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then as a teenager, I was in punk bands. And in my 20s, I was in an Irish inspired pop band, and
It's an interesting combination.
Yeah, well, like U2 is right. Irish.
True.
Yeah, kind of. You get the picture. And then in my 30s and 40s, I ran a jazz trio. I managed and sang lead, so it was lovely.
So you've done a lot in the music world.
Yes, and I forgot to add, I've also done big gigs like weddings. I was kind of a wedding singer for a little while too. Mm-hmm.
There's a movie about that.
Yes, yeah. I was in it.
Not you specifically.
No, not me specifically. Yeah.
So art, how did you get involved in art?
I went to school for art. So I went to college and studied fine art. And I got an associate's degree, and then I decided to go back, and I went to a different school, a small private school in Cincinnati called the Art Academy of Cincinnati, mm-hmm. And that's where I got my bachelor's degree in sculpture. And then I became a mom, and being a mom...
Your finest sculpture.
Yes, my masterpieces, and it's very hard to be a visual artist and a mom at the same time because kids jump on you. Mm-hmm. So I kind of put that on hold.
There's an old song some people may have heard that has the line, "You can't change film with a kid on your back."
Well, I think that might be true. But you can sing with a kid on your back. And so that's when I was like a musician. I had to change it out. Actually, you can scream with a kid on your back too. Yeah. Sometimes you have to. Anyway, during COVID, things changed a lot. Obviously, no gigs, so I pivoted and I was able to go back to making visual art, and that's a good thing. I really enjoy it, and so that is what I do now.
So we're sitting here in Alicia's studio right now. You can see some stuff behind. We'll grab some B-roll of some of her work in here. And the studio is at Front Street here in Dayton. Uh-huh. And Front Street is, if you don't know, is a big collection of artists. It's an old warehouse. The place is huge. And there's dozens of artists here. And eventually we're going to walk around with the camera and show off some of these artists. Oh, that would be really cool. And yeah, because this place...
There's 3 different buildings here.
Yeah.
I actually hung out in this building as a teenager when I was in punk bands. This was a place where they would have all ages shows, and there was a half pipe in here somewhere. I mean, it's been dismantled. That was a long time ago.
Back when half pipes were cool.
Half pipes are still cool.
You're not wrong. The first time I was ever here, it was early 2000s. I had just moved up here recently from Kentucky, and I went to a Star Wars themed art show.
Oh, cool.
And people showed up in cosplay, and I remember there was a punk rock Ewok there. That was pretty
very cool. Did he have a mohawk?
There was a she. She was wearing. She had fishnets and high heels, and from the thighs up, it was an Ewok costume. But the hair was dyed, different colors, like very psychedelic.
Cool.
Colors, and yeah, it was a cool.
That's very cool.
I've never seen anything like it since then. It was really cool. So that was my first experience at Front Street. And I remember I came here, it was, wintertime, it was dark out already, and I walked up the fire escape stairs back here to get to the place.
Oh, okay.
And went in, like I was like, am I coming here to be killed? But it turns out the place is really cool, and it's, we'll look around some more.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Now on my channel, I've introduced myself before, but I'm going to do it again. My name is Paul. My friends call me Hitch. I have been a photographer literally as long as I can remember. My dad gave me a camera when I was about 6 or 7 years old. And I don't have that very camera, but I recently got like the same model. And it's amazing. I'm very young, but it had been so long since I had held that camera, but putting it back in my hands, I remembered it.
That's really cool.
Like it was just sensory, recall. I knew what that camera felt like, and it felt really good to hold that camera again. It really took me back, and it kind of grounded me again, because I've been doing digital photography for so long that I'd lost a lot of the magic of photography.
Sure.
So but I got that, and I got a couple of other cameras that I'd had before, and that has brought me back to photography again. I was away from it for many years, and I did it professionally from 1997 to about 2006, and then I left it. But in 2019, I took a trip to Puerto Rico, and being there, that island is absolutely gorgeous. If you ever have the opportunity to go, just make the opportunity and go. It's absolutely beautiful. Spend some time there and rent a car, drive around the island, because it's more than just the tourist traps. It's really, really amazing. The beauty there, brought me back to wanting to take pictures again. And from there, I bought cameras and lenses and have spent way too much money. If you want your kids to never do drugs, get them into photography, because they'll never be able to afford drugs. So it's
good point.
It's a good plan, and it makes more photographers. So, but yeah, the beauty of that island was just amazing, and I wanted to create again. And since then, I've been doing it semi-professionally again. I still have a day job. I'm leaning more into the art side of things, doing projects, looking for commissions, and hopefully starting to teach photography with workshops, travel workshops. My first one that I want to do is taking a group of people to Puerto Rico. So we'll see how that works out. That's in the plans. We'll talk about that later.
That sounds really cool.
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
So, but we're going to talk about lots of different stuff on here. I think we have very different views of what art is. Mine is purely visual with photography. Yours has a lot of tactile elements to it.
Yeah, and conceptual elements as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always more looked at photography. I'm getting more into the abstract stuff, but I've always been more of a realist with photography by going to somewhere and trying to document what I see in a beautiful artistic way.
Right.
But
that's what makes a good photojournalist.
It does.
Yeah.
I did study photojournalism for a while at OIP&T, the Ohio Institute of Photography and Technology. That doesn't exist anymore. It got sold like 4 times and finally disappeared. But formal training is good for the technical stuff. But to be a good photographer, you've just got to get out and take pictures. I always say people should take pictures every day if they want to be a photographer. I can't remember who said it. There's a famous photographer that said your first 10,000 pictures are going to be your worst. And it gets better from there.
Well, that sure does breed a lot of hope. Thanks, Hitch.
Well,
I would say that if you do anything every single day, you're going to get better at it. So I don't think it's a bad, one would hope. It's good advice for any endeavor. Just do it a little bit every day.
Yeah, the more you practice, the better you get. I think a lot of people, though, when they're practicing, they get stuck into a rut if they don't know what to practice. If you don't know where you're going, it's really hard to get there.
Yes. So I have some ideas about that too. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of people get caught up in perfectionism.
Yes.
And trying to make something that is visually stunning, which is it's a fine goal. You'll get there along the way, but I think that the journey is more important. And if you can divorce yourself from having a really concrete plan about what you're going to have when you're finished, it will free you up to just keep going and doing a little bit every day.
That's absolutely true. If you get it out of your mind that this has to be perfect, because what is perfection? You may get it to where you think it's perfect. Somebody else may look at it and not like it. Art is very subjective.
It is.
And perfection is the enemy of progress. If you're trying to make things perfect, you'll never progress, because you'll just get stuck in a loop of trying to fix the minutia of a photograph, a piece of art, anything you're doing. You'll get bogged down in the details instead of looking at the overall thing and trying to decide if it does what you want it to do, if it brings the feeling that you want out of people, if they look at it and feel what you want them to feel. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if the lines are absolutely perfect.
It depends what your goal is. Okay, so I just said, if you can divorce yourself from your ideas of perfectionism, but if you find that making those lines perfect is the part of the project that brings you the most joy, right? Then dig into that. Forget the rest. True. Just dig into the part that you like the best. If the part that you like the best is mixing the paint, then mix the paint. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about making that person that you're painting look realistic. Dig into the part that's bringing you joy and that's going to keep bringing you back to what you're doing.
Photography.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think it does.
You get it?
Photography is a very technical field. There's a lot to photography beyond the art. You have to know, color theory, the physics of light and optics. You have to understand how film and digital sensors respond to light. You have to know a lot about how light works, how it reflects, how it gets brighter or dimmer depending on the distance of subject to light source. There's a lot of technical stuff in it. In my life outside of art and photography, I'm an engineer. And that part of photography really appeals to me, and I've leaned into learning more and more about that, about how everything works, and that brings me joy to work on in a field that is technical like that.
Right. So do you feel like learning about those aspects of photography, has that enhanced your experience and the way that you view life in general?
It's definitely enhanced my experience because it's given me a deeper understanding of the photography, of how it works, of how of how to create what I want. If I have a vision in my head of what I want, understanding the physics of light and color makes it a lot easier to make that happen.
Right.
So yeah, it's given me more joy in that. I don't know if it's given me more joy out of life in general, because sometimes there's a lot of frustration when you're trying to make it look the way you want and it's not working out. Because that's part of it too.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes the vision in your head just defies physics completely. So
I think that the more you learn about something that is interesting to you, the more information that you're going to take to other parts of your life, and it will be like a tree's roots, right? Some plants grow really deep roots, and some plants grow out along the ground. And if you can do both, if you find something that you're interested in and you go deep, but you also use that information and go out and look for other bits of information that are similar to that, it's just going to make your life so much more rich and interesting.
definitely.
And give you a better grounding.
Yes. You extended that metaphor all the way out.
I totally
like
did.
that.
Yeah.
It's
And
true.
it'll help you grow up too.
Yes. Okay, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Just leave it right there.
Just leave it right there. Yes.
The more you know about a subject, the more you understand the subject. Obviously, you can, and there's some things in photography that you can go very deep on. It's goes all the way down literally to the atomic level.
That's so cool.
Right. I mean, film is chemistry.
Yeah.
It's pure chemistry. Light is physics. So there's a lot you can go deep on. Modern cameras are all electronic. You can learn electronic theory and learn how a camera works from the lens to the final image. And so however deep you want to go on a subject, if it gives you pleasure, dive into it. You don't have to, but the more you know about your medium, about what you're doing, the easier it becomes.
I agree. And the more ideas you get, I think. I work a lot in technical skill versus scientifically technical aspects of how light works. I think the way that I work is a little bit more intuitive, but the more that I learn about how light works, the more interesting it becomes, because there's an interesting crossover between the concept of the making of the art and how human beings actually physically view it. And the processing between the two is really fascinating to me, because I know that other people are going to view it differently than I am. And I think that's completely fascinating.
Yeah, that's the same thing with photography. People have different you have photojournalism, you got wedding photographers, landscape photographers, macro photographers, people that don't do anything but take pictures of bugs. And I don't know why, but they do. And
because bugs are amazing.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. As long as they're not.
We wouldn't be here if there weren't any bugs.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Bees are very important. Without them, we all die. So if depending on what your interest is, I don't even know where I was going with that at this point.
That's all right. Now I'm just thinking about bugs.
Yeah, we all are. But I guess the point we're both trying to make is that art is what you make of it. You can do it as technically or as intuitively as you want on both photography and painting or sculpture or whatever you're doing. There's you can be a complete nerd about anything.
That is true.
So,
and I know that for a fact, because I am one.
Yeah.
But
nerds unite.
Yes, I do think that I would plug just making, just make because it is a practice that will bring you back into yourself, into the moment. I think it gives people peace. It helps them reconnect. And it is very soothing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't draw like at all. You've seen my work.
Yes,
I can't
I
draw
have.
at all, but I enjoy doing it. I really do. It's fun.
And that's the most
Yeah.
important part of it.
My stuff will never hang in the Rife Gallery like yours does. She's pretty accomplished. But, you know, I can sit down and I can take a pencil and make a horrible drawing and enjoy it while I'm doing it. And then,
Yeah.
you know, I put it away and someday it'll be discovered after I'm dead and gone and was famous. They're like, oh my God, he was an artist, pen and paper artist. Too.
Or not.
Yeah,
I think
or
that,
not.
you know, it's okay to throw stuff away,
Yeah,
too.
it is.
But I do think that it's more important to put your mark out there in the world and do something for yourself. Take the time for yourself to put your thoughts and ideas down and be creative.
You've just got the one you. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a drawing or a painting or a sculpture or a photograph. It could be words. It could be...
You could build birdhouses.
You could build birdhouses.
Yeah.
You could write a song. But I feel like creativity is extremely important to human beings. And I feel like it's something that we need, especially right now in this world.
Absolutely.
To be creative and have our own ideas and identities. Yeah. So that's my pulpit. You've heard I've preached. I'm done. Amen.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
So I guess that's going to do it for today. I think
You think that's good?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the show today. We're going to try to do this about every month, and we're going to be showing you more of her stuff, more of my stuff on our individual channels, and we'll have the artist insights on both our channels. So subscribe to both. Like, subscribe. It helps. It really does.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.
Bye.